So I decided to go back to Egypt, and I got married. And after a while, I decided to come to the States. And it wasn't an easy trip. I had to, I went to Algeria as a professor there, and from Algeria, I came to the United States because I used to be a professor at the National Research Center, and allowing, at that time, during the regime in Egypt, did not allow highly qualified people to leave Egypt because of brain drainage. So I left through Algeria.
My degrees from Egypt was the medical degree from Cairo University, Faculty of Medicine, and I did my internship in Egypt. Then I left right away. Then I got my further degrees from Canada and the States mainly. I left Egypt as soon as I finished my medical school. I was 25 years old. And I left because I believed that the opportunity to progress scientifically is not as widely open in Egypt as it is available in other countries, mainly North America. The general attitude toward further development, knowledge-wise and degrees-wise, and improve your scientific position is not very, or at least those days, was not very encouraging in Egypt. And people who wanted to progress quickly and not to wait the red tapes, usually they left.
Of course, in Egypt, I had a lot of friends. I have a lot of family there. Of course, we were all there in 1970 and before. Nobody thought about immigration in 1970. So I had friends, Coptic friends. I had also Muslim friends. The relationship between Coptic and Muslim friends at my time, it was really a normal relationship. There was no difference between if I have Muslim friend or I have Christian friend. So actually they came sometimes to my house in Christmas, and I used to go to them during their also Eid, whatever they call it, Eid Adha, Eid al-Fitr. After graduation, when I start feeling that there is some differences in between working as a Christian or a Muslim, I remember one time I went to apply to be resident in gynecology and obstetrics in Egypt, and then I found out that it was flatly, they told me that it's not going to be easy for you to take a diploma or take degree in OB-GYN. So from now on, I start feeling like there is some other careers probably ahead of me.
I said I taught in the university for a few years, but that was really a big struggle because there was a rule that not too many Copts should be in a key position in teaching in the university. In fact, where I taught, I was the very first Christian that has taught at the University of Alexandria in the Department of Civil Engineering ever. And I didn't feel that this is something that I would like my children to go through, to be prevented from pursuing some of their careers because of their religion. So we thought that this may be something that is very prudent, that we don't subject them to this and give them a better career prospects by moving to the States.
At the time I grew up in Egypt, I had very good relations with my school colleagues and my teachers, both Christians and Muslims. The Copts are a minority in Egypt, as we all know, and growing up in a minority has its own culture, if you will. It has its own advantage, actually, and disadvantage. The uh, advantage is when you grow up in a minority, you always go the extra mile. You always work a little bit harder. And this is actually is an advantage. The disadvantage, you feel, whether it is true or not, that sometimes individuals may discriminate against you, and that happens all over the world with different cultures. So it has its pros and cons.
The opportunity in America, which you don't have in the old world, Egypt and other countries, is your limits is the sky. The sky is your limit, or you have no limits in developing your career or our career and our progression, so long we have the ability to do it. There is nobody going to stop us. We are not stopped on basis of color, religion, or origin. The only thing we have is to prove ourselves, to progress, and to compete. That you will not see in Egypt.
Well, this is really an open society and open opportunity for those that are really work hard and dedicated and are very serious and have their focus on their career in the right way. In Egypt, it's a big struggle sometimes. You can have focus, you can have the seriousness, but if the opportunities are not there, it's very difficult to create it, because it's a country that has too many professionals and not as many jobs that would serve these professionals. So you have to find something else to do. Here it's the other way around. Here, at least when we started, maybe now it's a little bit more difficult, but when we started it was really many opportunities, and you have a choices, and you can change jobs without having any problem. You can always find another job. It really, the opportunity comes if you work hard at it, any place in the world. But here more than any other place. I believe in Egypt, even if you work hard, there are a lot of other factors that make it a lot more difficult to develop your career than here. Obviously here there is more. Here in Chicago, as I said, we were, I was looking for a job after I got my PhD, and I found the opportunity here in Chicago, and I continued here. Again, I changed, after a few years of teaching, we've had the opportunity to like a lot better the engineering consulting area, and I joined this company that I am with right now, and that gave us the challenge to leave the States and take an overseas assignment with them to go to Venezuela, where we spent about 14 years with the company there. And then when I finished my assignment, I came back actually in 1993, and since then we have stayed here in Chicago. You look back at when I started here, I could have never imagined that I would be in the position I am right now, and I think I can see the hands of the Lord in many of these steps that were taken. The reason we went to Venezuela was to do a project, but that was so much of an important project that actually developed my career to become the president of a company that a person like me, not born in this country, has not happened to this company before. The company is about 80 years old, very well established, very famous around the world, the #1 company that deals in the production or in the consulting of